Hello, everybody. We'll give people time to get in here. We are live post Candace to discuss the episode today. Let me know when you guys are in. Say hi. I hope everyone is having a good Monday. We had a long 2-week break from Candace. So we're just going to go over the information that she shared today, kind of talk about all that stuff. Give people a couple minutes to get in here. I know it takes time. Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys? Hopefully everyone is doing good. Happy New Year. I don't remember if have I done a live since the New Year started? I don't know. I can't remember. Hopefully everyone's doing good. Happy 2026. Hello from Arizona, new to your channel. Thanks so much for all your reporting. Thank you so much. Welcome. I'm glad that you're here. All right. What did you think? How are you feeling? Yeah, we're going to dive into this. Hello. Yeah, 2026 is on fire already. It's going to be crazy. All right, guys, we're just going to get going. I know that people are still obviously going to be getting in here. They're probably just getting off of Candace. Also, I think the time frame, people are cooking dinner, stuff like that. So it's kind of hard. You didn't watch Candace today. I was watching Redacted and forgot. Oh, my goodness. Gary was live responding to Candace. Oh, was he really? That's interesting. Hello from Washington State. Hello. All right. So I'm sure people will continue to get in here. So I didn't know what to make of today's live. Personally, I was wondering, when she came back, how much was she going to drop today? What was the information going to be like today? Mitch's ex had to have been hacked by an acronym agency. If you disagree with Candace on something, it doesn't mean you don't support her. Exactly, Terry. I've been saying that's from day one. Big Elvis in Nokomis, Florida. Gary is having a rough time. I bet he is after everything that he brought on himself. Okay. So I felt like Candace's episode was half the time Tim Dillon show. So it's funny that you say that because that's exactly what I said to Kristen. I'm like, I feel like majority of this episode is like Tim Dillon. Hi, Renee. How are you? Welcome in. Welcome in, guys. Thank you so much for being here. So, Andrew, that's your post punishment. Loved it. So basically, they don't want us to solve the CK case because they did it. I'm sure that they don't want us to. Let's see. Hello, Kent from North Carolina. I love your show better. Oh, thank you. All filler, no killer. What are you talking about? Candace's show? Let's see. Let's see. Candace is now investigating the Fort connection to trillions and more products. I don't know. Okay. So we're just going to jump right in. So personally, I didn't know what she was going to drop today. I had a feeling that she might drop more Fort pictures or something along those lines. Obviously, we didn't see that. I definitely think, Andrew Colvette is like going to be toast. He's basically toast already. I know we've kind of talked about in previous posts that, Andrew is this intentional that he, got caught like leak. I don't know. Well, that was Gary's fault that got leaked. But you know what I mean? Like Andrew is just saying a lot. And so you have to wonder, like, is he doing it intentionally? Like maybe he is afraid to fully come forward about things because he's been giving things to the feds, text messages, things like that. And maybe he doesn't, like, he can't fully come out and talk about things. So he was giving things to the feds behind everyone's back. And then, like, now he's been outed about that. He got caught with the whole Gary thing. He's out on Charlie Kirk's show just doing the most outrageous stuff with Blake Neff and whoever. And so today, her revealing that, and I took some notes, just like the highlights, Andrew being the source of, the information about BB offering to take Turning Point USA to the next level, and Charlie saying no is really crazy. It just seems like Andrew seems to be, he's getting thrown over the bus left and right, whether it's from Candace, rightfully so, because, she's taking a lot of heat and no one's defending her. So I don't blame her for telling that stuff, but Andrew he's got to be in trouble. He has to be. Renee, I think she is building up for this week. I think so too. I also, I think she wanted to really start to bring out Amfest. Amfest was such a disaster, in my opinion. Such a disaster. Such a bad look. So I knew she was probably going to address like some Amfest stuff. Fake X account, Flower Girl, yeah, or Flower Leaf. It's very possible. And I said that in my post, you guys, that I didn't know for sure what was going on. There's no way to know. That account is now deleted. Maybe it was hacked. This was posted on December 4th. I always said, you guys always say, bring everything from X and other, social media platforms. You guys don't like to have them. This happened to just be swirling around X this morning. So I brought it here just to say, like, look at this craziness. Obviously, like, we can't believe, and I've said this from day one, like, don't believe everything you hear. Take it in, do your research, whatever. Again, who knows? There's a million ways that I think they're trying to discredit Mitch, because in fact, it will discredit Candace. If they can find any inconsistency with Mitch, it totally screws Candace. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was botted or hacked. Like I said, that account is now deleted. You guys asked for the link. I went to provide the link for you guys to the post, and the whole X was gone. So I don't know. We shall see. But they were all sharing it. You saw Alex Jones was talking about it. Who else? Evan Kilgore was talking about it on there. Paramount Tacticals. It was all over the place. They were tagging Candace in it. My guess is it was a hacked account of some sort. I think I heard too that supposedly deleted because of the nature of the post. I don't know. Gregory, hello, Patriotic Housewife in chat. Hello, welcome in. I love that she outed Erica. Yeah, I think everybody is glad that she's finally starting to talk about Erica. I think everyone was like dying for us to get to that part. And I do think Candace wanted to wait till there was some real reason to bring Erica into the fold. Just because if she was so quick to, dump on her, I think people would have been pissed. So I don't know. Oh, I put 12.5. I meant, you guys, 1.5. Sorry. I've been researching all day and putting stuff together in the background for some future shows that we're going to be doing this coming week. We've got a lot of research going on, big research. So, guys, my brain is mush, but they're going to be good shows, or videos, rather. Let's see. Spy Gal. Candace has to update her audience, as not everybody has time to watch all the other stuff that's going on. I was hoping for more, but I understand why she had to go over what she did. Yeah, I think that there's so much to go over. I also think, she has like 55,000 emails she's talked about in the past. She has to somewhat vet those. And if she gets something wrong, she can't vet 55,000 emails. So everybody, Jesse on Fire, I think, did a video about this. I heard, I watched Jimmy Dores, and, it's really for all of us to try to investigate and look into this, because she can't do it by herself. So you can send her the leads. You may not get a response, but she's one person, and she does have a team, I think, of 3 behind her. But still, 55,000 emails, you guys. Can you imagine? Those inboxes are full every day. So we do have to, in this situation, and really in a lot of situations, I've always said this, everyone should be trying to do their part. If you think there's something up with something, if something doesn't add up, even if you don't want to be the one to research, well, at least send the tips to other creators or people that are doing investigations, because they have more time than she does to look into it. sometimes people think they have valuable information or things that would be helpful, and they don't lead anywhere, and so that's why you don't hear people continue to talk about them. Or so don't take offense if you like email and then nothing comes of it. It just, they might have, I know Krista and I have chased down leads and they end up not being much of anything, and it's not offensive to you guys. It's just they aren't anything, there's not enough viable for us to go and run with. So it's not a personal thing. If you don't hear back from me responding to an email, I mean, we get tons of emails, and so it's just really hard to respond to every single one of them, but know that we get them, we look through them, we write things down, and we try to chase things down as much as we can. I can't even imagine what Candace and Ian and them get. It's, I'm sure, a ton. Let's see, Spy Gal. Plus, it's easier for people to see other people saying really what she wants to say, because I felt exactly the way Dylan called it out. Absolutely. I do think in certain situations, some people can say things, and then some people, it wouldn't be a good idea for them. She's getting attacked as it is. So, yeah, I definitely think she probably sits back and allows people to say the thing that she can't say at the moment. She's kind of saying enough. And so, yeah, I'm glad the focus was Eric and Andrew. Yeah, I think a lot of people were. I wish YouTube would restore the clock on the live streams. There's no, oh, I have a clock saying how long I've been live, but I don't know what live stream clock you're talking about. Interesting. I'm not sure how I felt about the episode. I thought more damning info would come out. Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, she can't drop everything at once, but I was kind of hoping there was going to be a little bit more too. But you know how Candace operates. She tends to let people, give them enough rope to run with themselves. And so every day that they sit there and stew, they reveal themselves in that way. So I do see we have a super chat already in. I will read those all towards the end. I appreciate all of the support for the channel, you guys. I've said this a lot lately. There's with starting a channel, and there's a lot of apps and things that we use for research that all of it adds up. So it's just so helpful for us to be able to grow as a channel and bring better content for you guys and vet the information more, so on and so forth. So you guys are so appreciated. I love the community we're building here. It's super, super positive. I'm just in awe over it, and I love that. I think we need all research from day one, put it on an ebook. I'm too lazy, but I know it would be $1 million seller. I'm sure she is sharing information with people. Ian, she's leaking things through, I think, several other bigger creators that she trusts. That's what I think. I'm sure she is. Candace has been very patient about not speaking ill of Erica. She has. I think there's a lot of us who have tried to not go. Even I've tried to tread lightly until there's really some rock solid proof. And even when I talk about her now, I'm like, it doesn't look good. I don't like it. I don't feel good about it. But there's a way to go about stuff too. So Coach Cowan and Jimmy Dore are good recaps. They are. It's hard for me to watch, all the videos, you guys, because I've been, buried in my own research, and it's always nice to do the recaps, but I also like having original content. And a lot of the big, pieces that you do, they take a while to research. So sometimes, like when you see recaps, especially for like my channel, I'm doing recaps on things or talking about things that could be shorter videos while I build the big stuff. And then we'll drop those bigger videos. It's just sourcing it. Like I said, it's just me and Kristen. And we were both sick at opposite times. So that didn't help us either. But we will have some really, really good content coming the next week. Especially like we have one good one this week while we continue to research the other one, because we're putting together something that's just really intricate, and it just requires a lot more research and time. So don't get frustrated with us. We're doing the best we can, I swear. Well, you'll still be smarter than the opposition, even when mushy. I hope so. Watching from England, I can't get alerts for some reason on your page. Love your show. Candace is the queen of investigation. Thank you so much, Wendy. Yeah, so apparently YouTube is censoring. And so what they're doing is they're turning alerts off. There's been a lot of talk of this where people set alerts and then they're being turned off. And I also heard from several subs that they're all of a sudden like following TPUSA again. So I'm guessing like bots are like, I don't know if they're hacking our accounts and like following TPUSA or I don't know. Weird. I'm going to say this here because every other channel is too big to listen. An air rifle can shoot any size projectile at any speed. Yes, Modern Poly, Matthew. We've talked about air rifles before. I think there's a lot of things that are possible. We just don't know. Gregory, I don't worry about Candace's safety so much because of TPUSA, but rather her comments about the deep state, FBI, CIA, etc. Yeah. The problem is that that's all kind of pulled into this situation. So she's doing good so far. She seems to be, I think she keeps to herself a lot. I don't know how she moves on the down low so much, but maybe she stays home a ton and doesn't really leave. I don't know. Marty, Patriotic Housewife. Thank you, Marty. The episode was meh. I think more of a clearing of her thoughts. I think so too. It could have been better, but you know how Candace is when she first comes back, so she'll get there. Good morning from Thailand. I think Candace is going to really pace herself with all that has happened these past couple weeks. I agree. And welcome. Thank you for being here from Thailand. CHXMW, her hair, man, one can die for, and her voice is just fine. Thank you. My hair, I think I got it from my dad. My dad had a great head of hair. The Italian side is they all have really good hair. I'm Italian and Polish. But both sides really actually have good hair, but the Italian side for sure. Like ridiculously thick hair. So, I blame it on that. But I do nothing special to my hair. Let's see. Cam C. I've sent Candace an email last week and came back undelivered. She may have receiving off, verified, and retried to send, but still came back undelivered. So her inboxes may be full, and that's what I'm saying. It's crazy. It's funny that no one will address the air rifle. Why don't you try sending that over and talking to Trigger Smart more? Because he does a lot of the ballistic stuff and he seems to cover a lot of stuff. And Matt's really great. He's super nice. Renee, you're welcome. Thank you. Let's see. Whiskey Sadie, exhausted, need a book style. Oh, an ebook style from day one to cross-reference every detail. Yeah, at this point, we need, man, I was telling Kristen, we need like a chart to draw lines for everything. It's really hard to remember now because it's been months and you have all this new information going. It's hard to keep up anymore. This week is going to be wild. I can't wait to see what Candace has for us. Be interesting to see how TPUSA responds to this episode. Yeah, I think that's definitely going to be interesting. Specifically, Andrew. Katrina, what about Andrew? Is he stupid or is he feeding the public under the disguise of being loyal to TPUSA but feels guilty? What do you think? So, I mean, it could be either or. So either Andrew really sucks at PR, which Chris and I have talked about this. I said a lot of people at TPUSA hold positions that they have no experience in. So I find that very odd. Why would you want to have a bunch of people in high positions that have no experience? In my opinion, that would be to get away with things. That's just my opinion. So either Andrew is really terrible at PR, does not have any experience to be like the PR manager, head, whatever he is over there, because I don't even know anymore. Or, he's slowly leaking information on accident because he can't do it on purpose or he would be in trouble. So it's kind of like, being like, oh, whoops, like I did this on accident and I messed up, It could be either or, but when he sent Gary the alibi that Erica was trying to give him to get out, that was Gary's doing for leaking that. So I don't know. I think first off, I think Andrew's being thrown under the bus a little bit. And just like anybody, you're going to try to save your own behind, right? You're not going to, take the fall for someone else. You're going to try not to. So we'll just have to wait and see. But I think Andrew's realizing, just like when Erica said, oh, we never gave him permission to post about the body of this miraculous body that was like somebody out of Marvel, for him to turn around and say, oh, he said initially he had permission, then turned around and said, oh, I didn't have permission. I think that was really weird. Let's see. I've even tried to totally let loose, but that's because of my morals and values, not era. Yeah. You can adjust air pressure on an air tin to shoot at any speed. Let's see. Let's keep scrolling. Thank you for all your hard work. Thank you, Amanda. I appreciate you being here and being a part of the channel. I appreciate all of the support you guys give. It's been really, really sweet and humbling. Andrew is just Erica's puppet. Erica's at the center of all the lies. Yeah, I mean, he's definitely doing damage control for her. He got caught doing that. Download the transcript, put it in ChatGPT, and get a summary. Oh, you're talking about, for people who don't want to watch Candace's show? I mean, you can. I don't know how accurate that would be because isn't ChatGPT owned by that small country? I thought they did take over ChatGPT. I could be wrong. Ian did an awesome job on Tucker last week. I did not watch it, but I heard he was on Tucker. Let's see. Pendar, is that how you say it? Hello, good to catch you live. Hello. Welcome in. Glad you're here. Renee, I wish we knew more about his parents and sister. I wonder if Candace will speak about them one of these days. I wonder that too. I definitely think they were told not to talk. I think they were threatened in some way that if they talk, it'll, hinder an investigation or cause a problem. I don't see how that could be true, but you see that they've stayed out of the media. They don't talk to anybody. So I don't believe they're just doing that to do that. I think they were told. Let's see. Abundantly empowered, currently sick with the flu. Oh my gosh, I feel so bad. We just had the new strain of the flu. And the doctor said there's no way to cure it. So like they can't give an antibiotic, Tamiflu, nothing's going to work for it. And that it was lasting like 3 weeks. And I'm still congested a little bit and I'm still, I still have a little bit of a cough. So if you guys hear that, I'm sorry, that's still going on, but it's going around and it's miserable because it just lingers. And if you have autoimmune, you know that when you get something, you get it way worse than the average person and it lasts longer. So it's been annoying. Elisa, imagine if Mitch didn't see Erica, but she was with someone on the 8th and can't verify that alibi. He may have seen her at the hotel, but I think she's been unfaithful. It's possible, right? We don't know, but we also don't know what receipts he really has. As somebody who's been beaten down himself by the system, I think that it's very possible he had a dash cam or wore a body cam or something along those lines. I would not be surprised. It seems like he records everything out of abundance of paranoia from what he's been through, rightfully so. And so I wouldn't be surprised and Candace has more than what she says. So we just have to wait. I know it sucks. I don't like waiting either. And I'm also getting to be like, I'm having fatigue myself. But we just have to wait. Hello, Elena. It was good to see Candace tonight. It was. Let's see. Guess under height 1. I've noticed that every time Candace has taken a break, she usually does a recap and update of the past and ongoing stories. Her first day back, we're still disappointed every time. Yeah, Candace is going to move at her own pace and she, I'm sure, has the big information. So she's going to release that how she sees fit. I also think she likes to let people out themselves in a sense. So it's really possible that that's what she's doing and continues to do. It kind of gives them the opportunity to expose themselves. And then it's more crediting to her and what she's saying and what she brings forward. It's just a strategy she has. It's smart. I know a lot of people wouldn't have the patience for it. Most of us wouldn't. So she's a very patient person. Dog Nose, yay, Patriotic Housewife. Hello. Thank you for being here. Welcome back. Trigger Smart's also live right now. Awesome. Matt's awesome. Candace had more views. I'm sure she does. I think more and more people are coming around to the idea that this is actually And for most of us, we're like, well, how could you even think that it's not, um, that TPUSA is not involved, or how can you, not see what's really going on? There are just a lot of people who aren't awake yet. And so, I agree that it's frustrating, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? Let's see. We need Ian's web. Oh, for the all the content. Yeah, he's working on that. We also have Nightbot in here, you guys. Tonight is a mod. Matt from Trigger Smart. He recommended Nightbot, so it just helps alleviate the regular mods too. So, um, if it picks up your comment, then I can't do anything about it. I'll have to play with that more as we go, but this was our first time running it. It was something Matt suggested. He uses it. So we started incorporating that. It's hard to complete. Let's see, Cam. It's hard to complete ballistics without an accurate autopsy report. I agree. I don't know if we're going to get that autopsy report until quote unquote the court case, and that's pushed back pretty far. So I don't know when we're ever going to get those answers, you guys. I'm glad Candace kept her focus on Andrew. Yes, Kristen, I agree. I think Andrew has told Candace a lot of information. I also think Andrew has sent a lot of other people copies of, yes, Nightbot is a moderator. It's like a automatic moderator along with the mods that we have in here, Kristen, my husband, my brothers. So, yeah, I think we're going to see more of Andrew. I think Andrew was somebody who was like sending things to the feds, sharing text messages with Candace. And I want to go back to Andrew in the beginning. He said that he gave the feds the text about Charlie saying that, he was leaving the pro-Israel cause. Remember, he lied about that at first. He didn't come out with that. Well, then he turned around and said, oh, well, I gave that to the feds. But he's also out here saying he believes that Tyler Robinson is the, the right person. Well, if you believe that, then why did you give these texts to the feds? Because that looks like you believe a whole different narrative. So you got to remember that too. It's weird. The math doesn't math. Elisa, is there a group where people can add all things CK, like one would? Let's see, be the trans and X comments saying he would die on the 10th, and then the TPUSA. Let's see, finances. It would be good to have a space. Ian Carroll is creating web, and I think that he's going to also put something together with the Charlie Kirk stuff. So I think that's already being put together. Jess, let's see, Jess and Height, I think is how you say it. She flat out shamed Erica and Elizabeth for the recreation tent. That entire tent was so bizarre. And then you could buy the shirt next to the tent and then take a selfie with the tent. I thought that was disturbing at AmFest. I did a video on that. That was so gross. And we learned tonight that Eliza McCoy, she's the director of events on TPUSA website. She, and Blake Neff says, oh, well, she's not in charge of events at campuses. Well, she's the director of events, and she may not go over every single campus event, but I think that she probably signs off on things, or she's aware of what's going on. There's people below her, but I'm sure she has an idea of what goes on. So to completely try to take her away from that, I think that was weird. It seems that they want to distance any McCoy from the public eye in general. As you can see, they've removed Rob McCoy from the website. Mikey McCoy's off the website. Eliza's up there, but I don't even, I'm trying to think if when I looked, her last name was even McCoy on there. To be honest, I would have to look. Hello, just got here. Expert tile installer, hello. Let's see, Karina, Karen, Andrew is doing more damage to TPUSA than good. If it wasn't for him, we would not know. No. Yeah, I agree. I think he's definitely, I can't tell if it's on accident or on purpose. I mean, one would have to say it's got to be on purpose, because how does he mess up this much? But you never know. I mean, some people just aren't that good at lying, I guess. I don't know. I just tell on myself. I don't even try to lie. Modern well, la la la. Polythemy. I can't even pronounce anything right now. Again, thank you for reading my comment. An air rifle was likely used and it's being suppressed. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't think we should turn anything down at this point. There's a lot to be looked at. We just don't know. 501c3 nonprofit org, but they all have mansions and are all millionaires. I agree with you. 21 Rat Rod. It's all weird. Let's see. Celtic Girl. I only found out about the tent selfie thing like a few days ago. I was literally in shock. So gross and inappropriate. Yeah, I don't know that a lot of people knew about it. I did a video on it and showed the tent, and I went over Erica Kirk's speech and just the Egypt jokes. It was just really bizarre. The whole thing was just, in my opinion, a PR nightmare. I can't even believe anybody thought any part of that was a good idea. Let's see. Elisa, I think the parents would lose their rights to see the children. I think that the parents are probably on good terms with Erica. It didn't look like it that the Medal of Freedom ceremony in the Rose Garden. They seemed kind of standoffish with Erica, in my opinion. But I'm sure that they're getting along because they want to see their grandkids. I mean, I think any grandparent would not want to lose the ability to see their grandkids. So we'll see. I don't know. They're keeping them out of the public eye for sure. The parents and his sister. Duchess of Camelot, lupus sufferer here, and with the flu, not sick enough to not leave a comment. Thank you for your hard work. Thank you so much for being here. I just got over the flu. I know with I have lupus and fibro, so it's not easy at all whatsoever. Let's see. Anthony, she's trying to not drop the pics until they go on record denying being there. It's a game of chicken. I agree. I think that was the Erica Kirk meetup. I think that's exactly what it was. I really think she wanted to. A lot of people were upset with the whole Erica Kirk thing about her meeting up with her. And, yeah, I agree. Transparency was important. I said that I didn't like that there was no transparency there, but I don't think Erica was going to have this meetup anyway. Any other way, I should say. And Candace wasn't going to miss an opportunity to get her on record saying whatever she had to say. And then now it's about turning around and proving that she was dishonest. So I think it's a smart strategy to let people come out and get on the record and then turn around and they discredited themselves once they're caught in a lie. Let's see. Undercover agent. Covertly recording and taking images on a military base is illegal. Why hasn't Mitch been arrested as a spy like Christian Saucer was? Well, I don't know if he took pictures on a military base. I don't know. I don't know if he was recording on a military base. I'm saying that I wouldn't be surprised, but I don't know if he did. We don't know. This is just all off assumption, just like hypotheticals. Terry, I saw on Instagram and I didn't keep it because it's not verifiable, but it had her traveling all over in a jet by herself, meeting people all around the world. I would not be surprised. There's a lot of stuff on Instagram, actually. Cam C, also autoimmune here. Been a rough season for sure. Praying for you guys, all my fellow autoimmune people. It's never fun. Kristen, I think it's good she's not feeding into their drama. I agree. I do think someone said Darren said I like Candace's pace. I like her pace too, but I think we're all also getting a little bit of fatigue and frustrated. So I think we're all like, can she just like bring the information? Like, how long are we going to drag this out? But at the same time, she's vetting things too. Duchess of Camelot, thanks guys, sending you all the love. Alexandra Gillespie, I agree with you, Nicole. Candace knows how to watch and wait. Yes, she's got the best ability to watch and wait because I know if I was really mad, we would be in trouble. I would have let it all out. I mean, I pray for patience every night and my patience has gotten better, but if I had a bunch of receipts and I was watching people lie, I don't know if I'd be able to hold on to all of them. So she's better than me. Marty, every day you see more and more card, you take it on faith, you take it to the heart. The waiting is the hardest part. Yeah, waiting is hard. Elisa, let's all hit the like button. I always forget to ask for people to be sure to like and share the live. It helps the channel. It supports the channel. Also, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe if you like the content. I appreciate that. We did add a second level of membership with a little bit more exclusivity to some of the content. I will be adding a third level, but at least we did the second one for now. It's just got a little bit more to it. And yeah, I think it'll be fun as we continue to grow the channel and add more and incorporate more. It's going to be fun. Let's see. CAMC medical transplant. Please be careful with ivermectin. Can make you really sick and not good for the liver. Yeah, any medication, if you don't know how you're taking it with the dosage, can be bad. I try to do everything for my stuff the natural way. So, let's see. I'm reading through the comments. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to play catch up. Elisa, do you think Andrew is scared or shady? Oh, I think Andrew is scared. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's a little shady. I think anyone over there is a little shady, but I think he's definitely scared. Let's see. He definitely knows or is guilty of something, not sure he's the source. I don't think he's the only source. I think he definitely is a source. I don't think he's the only source. And I don't know that he's told her too much. I think he's given Candace information, but I don't know that it's been like there's going to be anything super explosive from Andrew, because you got to remember he still works there. So Tyler Lee Tess at Amfest, JD Vance walked out to the song Long Cool Woman. Yeah, we talked about this. The lyrics contain words FBI, Charlie shooting a gun, and everybody started to run, read the lyrics. Yeah, I've listened to it. It's definitely bizarre. Also, like Nicki Minaj's song that was playing is, I mean, if you know the lyrics to that song, Charlie definitely wouldn't have had Nicki Minaj up there. But again, we're seeing a lot of things where it's like they are not doing anything that Charlie would have done or wanted. It wasn't how he ran TPUSA. It's certainly not the values that he had. So we're watching that in real time. And if she claims, it's her Charlie, she loves her Charlie, she's doing nothing that her Charlie would want, including the Doge audit. So to me, that's telling you without telling you. You know what I mean? Sometimes we don't have to be told things per se. People's actions speak louder than words, guys. So sometimes it's just about watching and observing for yourself. Nevada does not require release of an autopsy report. You mean Arizona, Terry? Arizona doesn't. Modern Polythemy, this is now my favorite channel. I'm so glad you're enjoying it. Alexandria, Christ is King, he is. Vivian, Alex is playing both sides of the fence. Yeah, I think he's trying to help, but not go too far to where he can obviously cross a line to where he can get in big trouble. And I think that he does enough to be able to play stupid. Because if he really gets caught saying too much, Lord only knows. So we'll see. They would need an autopsy for trial. I agree that that's going to come out in trial. At this point, though, you guys, there's a lot of things that haven't been released. And it's kind of like when Erica sat down with Candace and providing quote unquote phone records that we've had plenty of time to come up with our own phone records. I don't know. If you had this stuff, you would have provided a long time ago. That's just my opinion. Like I said, this is all my opinion. So we'll see. We'll see what the autopsy report says. But at this point, are any of us really going to believe that? Probably not. Weird, I have to resubscribe right now. Yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff going on. So just make sure you guys are always constantly checking your notifications. I'm talking about some really controversial stuff. And so I really think that this channel's being bogged down, which is, it is what it is. I can't really do much about it other than control using like rephrased words and things like that and try to just do it that way. Let's see. Abundantly Empowered, we all know they have no shame when it comes to making money off CK. No, that's evident that the tent was bad. Very few things in this are shocking, but that was like, whoa, okay, that's like next level. Graphics, ma'am, I want to be your thumbnail designer. Eventually, maybe I'll have someone do them, but for now, it's just me. The tent was very disturbing. On a positive note, your hair is so pretty. Thank you so much. Hope in 26. I appreciate that. My Italian side had really good hair in my family. My dad had like the thickest hair. So definitely got it from him. CHXWV, who is Kristen? Kristen helps me with the research. Kristen is another autoimmune girly. She has MS. So she came to me and wanted to help. And for, whatever reason, well, we both prayed about it and then we kind of came into each other's life. It's kind of a crazy story. But Kristen helps me with the research because by myself, I could never do it. So, like I said, as the channel continues to grow, and with everyone's support, I can keep Kristen on to help with research and all that stuff. So, like I said, it's everything we do using StreamYard to stream, and to record, and then, Canva for thumbnails and all these different things that um, the support of the channel all goes to all those things to make it better, so on. Especially with like researching, to have the right tools and things to research and be able to bring you guys, new information, to be able to dig the way we need to. All those apps or different sources we use, they can cost a lot of money and add up real quick. So, Jonathan, congratulations on 20K subs. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I can't believe how fast the channel is growing. Alexandria Gillespie, the magnificent, wonderful, beautiful, amazing Mikey McCoy's wife. I know. That's what I said when they said that she approved the tent. I was like, of course a McCoy was attached to that. Like, was anyone shocked about that? I wasn't. I was expecting that. Like an awful high school group of entitled kids. Yeah, dog knows, it's very similar. There's a good analogy for that. I'm not sure. Let's see, Gregory. I'm not sure what they did, but I'm almost positive that they all knew it was going to happen. I believe that Candace is Charlie's one true friend. I think she is too, and she's the only one asking questions, which is sad. Charlie thought people were his friends. I think he was very loyal, and he would have done more for them than what's being done for him now. But I also don't think they thought, you guys, that so many people were going to care and that so many people were going to turn around and share information and sleuth. And I don't think they banked on that. I really don't. So that's a whole nother thing. Grant, please don't forget to like the stream. Thank you, Grant, for pointing that out. I always forget to ask. I'm like the worst for, what do they call it? Call to actions. I'm so bad about that. Elisa, oh yeah, I think it was you who showed the video that Turek, Mikey, and Mikey's dad was talking about Vanskirk 2028. That was infuriating. Yeah. Actually, that came from Frank Turk's podcast. It happened like a month and a half ago. And they did that a little while ago. And I think it was Alley. Yeah, it was Alley Files had clipped that and thrown it up on X. And so rather than having to watch the whole podcast, it was nice when she clipped it. I was like, ooh, I'll go over it because we have just that little clip. And who could watch them more than 4 minutes? That was a 4-minute clip. Can you imagine watching the whole podcast? I was ready to gouge my own ears out as it was. Let's see. Terry, yes, but they're absolutely still getting a paycheck, and a big one at that. I'm sure. Terry, we need to go online and figure out what they're being paid. I don't know how we would find that out. We would have to dig through tax forms and stuff. I like Wolves in Finance a lot. I think he does a lot of good breakdowns. Obviously, he has an accounting degree, so he's the right person to go over that stuff personally, because he knows exactly what he's looking at. I've looked at a lot of financial documents and stuff. It's just I'm not comfortable to bring those out, but I know that some of the stuff I've seen was in that one video. So I'm sure he's seen the other documents that I've seen, and I'm sure he's gone through them all. And I'm sure more stuff will be coming out from him. He's doing great work. Gregory Worth, one reason the FBI did an investigation is because they knew that using lasers and other technology to track the bullet's path from the Losi Center would never add up. Yeah, I think all the confusion is intentional. That's for sure. Elisa, I tagged you in a post on Twitter. I'll have to go look at it, Alicia. I'll look at it tonight when I lay down. I usually go over emails and things afterwards. But I'm not joking. Today I've been at the computer all day since 8:30 this morning. Literally. Maybe took an hour and a half. I'm not exaggerating, 2 hours to stand and stretch. But I've been at researching all day, talking with Kristen on and off. Her and I have been at it today. That's for sure. She's finally starting to feel better, so we could finally come together and start putting things together for the 2 shows that we're working hard on. Steph, I agree with Candace about the tent. Andrew Colvett said to Megyn Kelly, they're just processing their guilt. So Steph, it is so funny that you bring that up. I actually pulled that clip because I want to circle back to that for people who haven't seen it. So I'm going to be doing a video like recap of that because a lot of people didn't see that. And that was a major slip on his part. I mean, he has had some slips going on, you know. Gregory, not sure what's going to happen if Erica ends up on the ticket in 2028. I won't be able to vote for Vance with her there. Tulsi would be a better choice, in my opinion. I'm not going to get too excited about it. They talked about it, and it was very frustrating to watch, but I don't know that that's actually going to be the ticket. I think JD Vance would be very lost to think that that's a good idea. But stranger things have happened. These people are clearly very ignorant. I know that in the one video I did say, you know, I can't believe that they actually are this out of touch. I actually don't know that they're out of touch. I actually think that they think we're stupid and ignorant and they're pompous and they play in our faces. So it's more like arrogance more than anything. I think they're aware of what they're doing. It's gross. Let's see. Oh, Terry, you can go online and get their salaries because it's a nonprofit. Yeah, me and Kristen will probably look through that. That's a good point. Alicia, I tagged you in some posts on Twitter last night, Nicole. Okay, I'll go through and see what you tagged me in. I was trying to go through that. I don't like X. I use it just to get information, but I'll go through it. A lot of times, guys, it's better just to take the link to whatever it is and send it to Patriotic Housewife tips at Gmail or Patriotic Housewife at Gmail. One of those emails is really easier. If so many people are tagging me on X, the notifications get all mixed up. Let's see. Kristen, somebody mentioned earlier they do not see a time for your lives. I think they meant they do not see like when we see over at Candace like plan. Oh yeah, so I use StreamYard to and then it goes through YouTube. So it's not going to because I don't technically like post like, oh, I'm going live at this time. For most people that are new to the channel, I go live typically Mondays and Wednesdays at 7 p.m. But because we do the like Candace recap, we sometimes go right after Candace is done, especially because it gets late and there's other creators that I know you guys want to watch that typically start at 7 or 8. So I try to be a little bit earlier, just so that we can all support everyone's channels. I know that's hard when we're all, when everyone's on at the same time. But I might be adjusting the days of the lives and stuff and the times just because it might be more beneficial to not be so close to everyone else. And then you guys don't have to go from like one to the other to the other. I'll have to, it's something I'm working out. We're just testing through things. Sometimes I go live randomly and usually I'll post in like the community area saying like, hey, I'm going to do a random live, so you guys know. But I commit to Mondays and Wednesdays. Let's see. Alicia, I also followed you there too. Thank you so much. Yeah, I don't keep up with X enough. I know Sam Parker was like, you need to do better about like using your X and stuff to draw people to your YouTube. And I do. It's just X is so toxic. I just go on there strictly to see if there's like any major breaking news and I get off of there. It's just not a nice site. So let's see. Jane, Seth Rubert, I think Candace is brilliant. I was never really against the private meeting. I figured it was all she could get. Yeah. I mean, I knew that it was probably going to be like that. I was a little frustrated because I think transparency is key. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to wait and see. Let's see. Cam, she can't let out. It's dangerous. Yeah, I agree that she's got to be careful. Elena, it is feeling more and more like a psyop meant to distract us. It feels like the Blake Lively nonsense. That is true. I think we're all feeling that way right now. It's getting to the point where it's hard for people, I think, to watch this stuff anymore. And that's why I'm also like trying to incorporate different court cases and stuff that I'm putting together. I am going to go over Wolves and Finance did a great video on the pipe bomber. And I talked about that in several lives. And so I'm going to do a video on that. I've followed that and talked to you guys about that numerous times. So I'll go into like my opinion on that and the different things. And then there's a couple weird true crime cases that I'm going to start talking about as well. So we're going to incorporate that into the Charlie Kirk stuff. Obviously, we'll keep that going. It's important, but it's not the only thing going on when it comes to true crime and all kinds of questionable things like that. Let's see. Gina, Andrew sent chills down my spine right away, sitting at Charlie's desk maybe 2 weeks post UVU, telling an old story where Charlie had to tell Andrew, no, we don't lie, never trusted him after that. Gina, I'm glad you brought that up. I've always said that Charlie was very honest. He was against lying. He always said, even if we do something that doesn't look good and it sucks to have to own it, you own it. I'm a firm believer of that. I just own when I'm wrong, or I own if I make a mistake. We're all human. That happens. Nobody's perfect. I don't care to be perfect. So I'm much like Charlie in that aspect, and I agree. It's disheartening to watch people be dishonest. Jane, I think Candace thinking terms of weeks, not days. She got this week planned out. I'm impatient too, though. I agree, and like I said, I think that she gives people time to mess up. So we're just going to have to wait as much as it sucks. Did we already go over CO? Didn't talk. Didn't even talk about the fort. Salem. So she didn't really go over that today. She went over other points. I think we were all kind of hoping she was going to go over that. But my guess is that more of that's going to come throughout the week. And there's probably a really good reason for why she didn't speak about those things. Grammy in Arizona, I have an autoimmune and severe fibro too, plus getting ready to undergo major back surgery. I feel like I'm coming down with something. I'm really praying that I don't get this flu. Glad you're better. I'm praying for you, Grammy. I know that's hard. And the best thing I could say is for surgery, try to take arnica. If you look up like the natural benefits of arnica, by the way, this is not medical advice. This is just arnica's worked for me great. It helps with bruising. It helps with muscle soreness. There's a lot of benefits to arnica. Even you can do arnica gel or cream. That's like a topical. A lot of people use that for like bruising from surgery or things like that. So arnica has been great. I take that every day. Northern Thai Gardens guy, Jimmy Dore did an interview with Jesse on Fire, giving a breakdown of what the decentralized intelligence agency is and needs to be. It was actually an excellent talk. I bet. I like Jimmy Dore a lot. Let's see. Mm-mm-mm. Let's see. Barb, I agree. Slow roll is getting a bit exhausting. Yeah, it's hard. It is. Uh, let's see. Corinne, good night. It's 1 a.m. Good night. Sorry, I know it's late wherever you are. Let's see. Let's see. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to go through your comments and I'm trying to read as fast as I can. Gina Pasobic was also there. Yes, I saw that tweet. And Tyler Boyer commented on it. That was very bizarre. A lot of people are saying, did they get him and Cabot confused? But I don't think they look anything alike. But that's just something people were talking about. Grammy, did you say Mikey McCoy is off the TPUSA website? Last time I checked, yes. Does that mean he is no longer with them? I think he's still with them. I think they just took people off the website to eliminate the bad press, probably, is my guess. Like, take him out of the limelight for now. You really don't see Mikey all that much. Or Rob. The only, who really keeps putting himself out there constantly is Frank Turek. Can't stop. It's really crazy. Let's see. Let's see, Elena, my notifications was changed from all to personalized. YouTube is always messing around. Yeah, there's a lot of that. I hear a lot of crazy stuff about stuff like that. It was really weird. Erica is Esther. Yeah. Candace said it best. We are dealing with people who are no longer human. Yeah, I think there's some people who just have no shame. And it's hard when you are a person who has a conscience and you're a good person and you care. And you can tell when people don't and when they don't take pride in what they do and themselves and their character. And I think that that's a huge difference. Let's see. Loyal to Philly, but not her husband. Yeah, that's true. Sure seems like it. Gregory, I'm suspicious of anyone that's a millionaire working for a nonprofit like TPUSA. I think a lot of people are, especially now. Let's see. Alicia, I tagged you on X and some posts last night and followed you. Thank you, Alicia. I saw your comment earlier. I'll go through all that. Alicia, just ignore Nightbot. I'll have to go in there and play with the settings. It's the first time we're using it. Bobby, Gary is having a rough time. Yeah, he is, I'm sure, after what he did. I don't know why he thought it was a good idea to like hitch his wagon to TPUSA's. Was not going to go over well. Then I thought, okay, like surely, like after being on TPUSA, well, the meeting was going on between Erica and Candace. You think he would have learned his lesson, but nope, he just carried on and continued to go. So now, like, I don't even feel bad anymore because you're doing it to yourself. It's just weird. It's weird. It's weird. It's weird. Cam, I started looking into CK case after have link found. Too coincidental to ignore. If I'm connecting right dots, this is big. Yeah, there's way too many. When you have that many coincidences, it's like mathematically impossible for it to be normal. Let's see. Elisa, Justin Strife, and Stacy Sheridan both look really bad in the 99 tax filings as far as percentage donations. I'm not sure if Candace knows this. I have hyperthyroidism. Elisa, I agree with you, or Alicia, I'm sorry. I agree with you. There's a lot there. And I think that Wolves in Finance will go over more of that. I've had some questions about Stacy as well, but me and Kristen did look into her. She's got a lot of experience with nonprofits before this. And from what we looked at, there really wasn't anything that looked bad to us, but that was, lightly digging. And because we weren't finding anything, we did look a little bit more, but we couldn't find anything that was crazy to, we have other things that we're following they had more of a trail. So we jumped on those. Let's see. Sweets Wine of Mine. Congrats on 20K subs, Nicole. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't believe the channel's growing so fast. I just every day I'm just like floored at where we end up in a good way. It's like one of those where you're just, I don't know. I'm always like in disbelief, kind of. I don't know. Jason, so odd. They've allowed the life, are you talking about the life insurance company to lapse between July and December? Perhaps they had started to plan his passing back in July. Jason, my theory has always been this has been planned for a long time. That's just my personal opinion. It's just the way it looks. It's not the nicest thing to say, but I mean, at some point you have to say what it is, right? TBJ Mason, I have MS as well. I'm so sorry. MS is a hard one. Lupus is hard. It really is challenging. You just have to take it day by day. Listen to your body, rest. Andrew Colvette said that he lost a ton of money when Charlie denied the little country's funding. Weird thing to say. Where'd that go? Oh, weird thing to say as a PR person. Yeah, that is. And then we found out today that, BB offered to take Turning Point to the next level and Charlie said no. And the next thing you know, this happens. And then you got all these other text messages of him expressing concerns. So it's all a bad look. Let's see, Alicia, who is Nightbot? That's a moderation app that we're using to help with modding. just to alleviate some of the, because when it gets crazy in here, when we have, 1,200 people in here, it's hard to have two people mod. I do have four mods, but like not everyone's able to be in here with schedules. And, Kristen, she's got MS. So if she doesn't feel good, if my husband's working, we have to have other means, and it just alleviates some of the trouble. Trigger Smart referred me to that app, said it worked really good. So we're giving it a try out today. Biscuit to liver. Hello. What did I miss today? Nothing really. We're just going over Candace's episode. Cam, also look at hospital donors. Yeah, there's plenty of things to look through. We've got a few, like I said, a few things that we're really leading with now. So we'll have some good information coming. Silver Buff, how sideways has this administration gone? We are now plucking leaders out of countries. We're going to go over that comment. We're sticking to Candace. Terry, I heard today on another show that the reason they wanted it in Utah is because it's the hardest to get the real information they cover up. I wouldn't be surprised. Edward, that clip was wild for sure. Very weird. No, Nightbot is a mod app to just alleviate some of the craziness. And it's our first night using it, so I'll make modifications after this. I'm seeing how it goes. Let's see. I'm doing the carnivore lion diet for my MS and psoriasis. Yeah, a lot of people like the carnivore diet. Careful Carpenter Nicole, you are dedicated. Thank you. I'm doing my best. I'm trying. Mary, arrogant, evil, truth be found out, will not after the path they're on with Tyler. I'm worried because that court case got pushed back. And like I said, the more time they have to not do this court case, I don't know. I don't think it looks good. I really don't. It's nerve-wracking. Alicia, love this channel, love the chat. I have to go. I will check X later. If I have time, please have a nice night. Day to everyone. God bless. God bless, Alicia. Have a good night. Thank you for popping in. All right. Let's see. Palantir Vance. Yeah, I don't really like his relationship with Palantir either. Let's see. Oh, Jonathan, don't forget to like. Yes, don't forget to like the live, guys, if you can. I'm with Candace and will not vote unless someone earns at either party. I agree. Shush quiet, like and subscribe. Thank you. Let's see, Terry, all their tax forms, like your forms, they are all online because it's a nonprofit and they have to show it. Yes. Candace said that Mitch did not contract her, but according to his call with Gary, Candace was not Mitch's first choice. That means he made someone contact Candace on his behalf. Red flag alert. So undercover agent, there was on X, and I'm debating going over this or not, but he paid to super chat. Valhalla on December 5th. And Valhalla read the super chat and said, "Oh, that's really weird," and then kept going. So I could actually pull it up if you guys wanted to. I can show it right now. If you guys didn't see this, Stu Peters posted it. We'll look at it really quick. Let me pull up Stu Peters X and we can watch it right now. Let me find it. I just got to pull it up. Give me 2 seconds, you guys. But he posted this for people to look at. It's right here. Okay. Let me share the screen with you guys and we'll watch this clip of Valhalla because Mitch he was a big fan of Valhalla, so he sent him a $20 super chat talking about this, and Valhalla read it and said it looked weird and then did nothing with it. So let's just listen.
Bro, I'm on everything, dude. I'm on all of it. Let's see, what's my stack? Well, before we take off, I'll say what am I on right now? Let's see, I'm on TRT, of course, Masteron, Equipoise. Those are the steroids. And then HGH, Tesmarelin, so artificial HGH, real HGH, BPC 157, TB 500. What else do I got going on? GLP 1 for a little bit of weight loss. We got glutathione. That's another one I'm taking. I think that's it. Moodiness? I'm not moody, man. Super, super calm dude, actually. Well, I'm about twice the size, man. You got me by a couple inches? Goddamn, you must be tall as shit, man. Be a gigantic boy. You know who's bigger than me? Not many creators are bigger than me. Maybe not. He's not as big as me physically. Is Ian. You guys know Ian is fucking gigantic, right? You know, Ian's like 6'6". He's fucking huge, dude. Yeah, Ian's a fucking giant. Giant, bro. He's big too. Like, he's actually pretty big too. Yeah. Ian's 6'6", I believe. Someone said he's not that big. Ian's 6'6", dude. In what world is 6'6" not that big? You're crazy, man. I was fired up earlier. What are you talking about, dude? At what point was I fired up? Bringing you truth isn't fired up. All right, one more super chat. We're about to head out of here. Mitch says TPUSA members were at JTF Southern Border HQ at Fort Hohaka morning of 9/9, speaking with tons of 06 brass counterintelligence. I was witness like they were coming out of a PONR final brief. That's fucking weird if that's true. That's super weird. Ian does. Test, bro.
Okay, so that was the live where Mitch Snow put out the information to Valhalla for people that said that he didn't want to send it to Candace first. He did do that, and he read it and never reached out to him or continued to ask about it. So after that, I'm guessing either he went to Candace around that time, and because of the amount of emails she gets, maybe she didn't get it in time. So he reached out to Valhalla. He was a big fan of Valhalla. And that's I also think why Gary, kept referring to, oh, me and Valhalla are friends, blah blah blah, knowing that he, Mitch was a fan of him, to get him to trust him and talk, is what I think. So Alicia, he's talking about Ian Carroll, not Ian Went. Ian Carroll. Yeah, supposedly Ian Carroll is extremely tall. Guys, we can't shut off Nightbot right now, so we just won't use it in the next live. This was a trial run. Trigger Smart uses it. He said it works really good. It was just to help alleviate some of the craziness, but we don't have to use it next time, or I can try to change. Like, I've never used it before, so I may have to go in there and change some settings. So I apologize if you guys are annoyed with it, but like I said, when we have a lot of people in the chat, sometimes it gets overwhelming for people who are modding, and it was just meant to help. Yeah, I'll change it for the next one. We were just playing with it, so I just left all the settings alone as it was to see how it ran. So we'll change it. Don't worry. Sorry if you guys are frustrated. Brandy, me engaging in the comments isn't spamming. It's helpful. It's helping the algorithm. It is. It's just, I think Nightbot, if you repeat the same stuff, like some people are saying the same thing over and over, and so it thinks that you're a bot, and also like too many emojis. But we won't use it next time, Brandy, so don't worry. And I'll adjust stuff if we do use it so it doesn't say it's spam. Elena, who reads something like that and goes, that's weird, and just moves along, super weird. I wonder that, and I'm trying to be really respectful because, we're all human. I don't know. I think that he probably could have, tried once he read that to maybe write that name down and reach out afterwards, but I don't know what to say. I can't make assumptions or, whatever about that. I don't know what he was thinking, doing. I don't know. I'm sure he's having a rough week being that, the phone call got leaked with Gary and, he was brought up several times. And so I, I'm sure he's having a heck of a week. Alicia, okay, my bad. I didn't know which Ian he was talking about. No, you're good, Alicia. But yeah, he's talking about Ian Carroll. Ian Carroll has done some lives with Valhalla and them and Jesse Empire, JD Delay, I think his name, Delay. They've done like several lives where they just like chat about things. And Ian has also, uh, done interviews with Valhalla regarding ballistics and things like that. So they became friends through that. Terry loves to Peters. He was a policeman. Now he's gone rogue into journalism. Alicia, okay, we already read that one. Let's see. But Candace made out as if Mitch was reluctant to talk about this publicly. Mitch is playing games clearly. Why would he leak the call with Gary? He did not leak the call with Gary. He has his own agenda. He did not leak the call. So I think Candace leaked the call to Stu Peters. Stu Peters is the one who posted the call to X, is how I understand it. It wasn't Mitch and it wasn't Candace. Maybe Mitch gave it to Candace. I don't know. But it was not Mitch that leaked the call. Let's see. Cynthia, Mitch's friend emailed Candace about Mitch and Candace called Mitch immediately. Okay. So yeah. I I couldn't remember what she said. I know that she checked her emails. She saw that one and so they had their phone call, but I'm just bringing you guys the information from X regarding all that other stuff. Jess, I think Ian is just a really nice dude. Valhalla is manipulative. Hopefully a lesson was learned and we can move on from the planted chaos mongers. I don't know. Not everybody is everybody's cup of tea. Just like there's people that come on my channel and say I'm not their cup of tea. I've heard it all. I've heard, you guys have heard or seen some of the comments. I mean, that's why there's a million channels. Some people work for some people and don't work for others. And maybe my voice is annoying to some people and to you guys think it's great. I mean, we all have our things and I don't follow everybody. I don't listen to everybody. So it just depends on what your preference is. I used to listen to Valhalla. I stopped listening when he started like yelling and swearing at, everybody over that about the Navy thing that they were trying to tell him like, hey, look this up. It was something after Mitch and he got really rowdy and was upset. And instead of just looking it up, it was like, I know everything. I was in the military. You don't believe me? Fine. I'm never talking about Charlie Kirk again. It was like a tantrum and the swearing and stuff. It was just too much. So I unsubscribed from him and I just don't watch him. I don't want to listen to that, Alexandria. Hey, Penny. Let's see. Mitch was talking to a friend who contacted Candace. Yes, Dan. Thank you. Rob just dropped my thumbs up. Thank you. Brandy. Oh, it's a bot, not a person. My bad. Yeah, no, you're good, Brandy. Everything is a lie until proven true, Daniel. Let's see. Nothing wrong with Nightbot, especially if you have this many in the chat. Yeah, I mean, right, it's just, especially when you have, 1,000 people in there, it's a lot for two people to mod and keep up with. So it was just like more about alleviating things, or let's say Kristen doesn't feel good. If she's got plans, and I still want to go live or bring something to you guys that just dropped, it's just a nice little addition that Trigger Smart recommended. Guys, just so you know, if you've super chatted, I will read those at the end. I said that earlier, but I didn't know if everyone heard me. We're going to start reading those towards the end. That way we can just keep the conversation going. Who went alive? Roger Rabbit. That's a good name. That's funny. Gosh, that I can't remember the last time I watched the movie. I'm busy, but just passing by to like the live stream. Thank you, Patriotic Housewife, and hope you and your family had a fantastic holiday. Thank you so much for popping in. Thank you for being a member and supporting the channel. I appreciate it. Like I said, we added that additional level now where there's going to be a little bit more exclusive content. We will add the third level probably by the end of this week, I'm hoping, which will be like a lot of extra content that'll be on that one. So it's just a good way to support the channel if you like the content. Like I said, all of the support we get goes towards, you know, being able to continue to bring you guys the best content and truth and be able to do, you know, have the tools we need to really investigate and run leads down and all that stuff. Mitch leaked the call with Gary because Gary and his cohorts were lying. I don't think that he leaked it. To my understanding, Stu Peters was the first to drop that, and he was the only one to drop the 2-hour convo on X. From what I understand from Project Constitution, everybody. The truth is no reflection on any investigator. Right, Gary contacted Mitch's kid. Who does that? I would have done way more had my kid been contacted. Yeah, to get the kid involved, I don't really think that was great. But also, in a way, I mean, Gary's done a lot for this investigation, you guys. I mean, whether he's annoying or not, by him messing up, he has done a world of favors. You know, he's done more for Candace's side than he's done for the opposing. Quite honestly, we should all be grateful for Gary, honestly. But yeah, I agree. Kids should stay out of everything. Should be left out of everything. But he did confirm that Mitch was at the base. I mean, it backfired. Grammy, I make all natural organic skincare. Just made an arnica balm. Looking forward to trying it. Thanks for sharing that idea. Yes, arnica's great. There's so many benefits to arnica. Let's see. Brad Valhalla pressured Ian. Throw away Gary under the bus when their hit piece didn't go as planned. Oh, it's all a mess. It's all a lot of drama. Let's see, Mr. Lupus is who's related to the Zodiac Killer. So I'm not saying he's related to the Zodiac Killer. There was an ex debacle earlier that apparently Mitch's account on X on December 1st had posted something about the Zodiac Killer possibly being his dad. The account is now completely deleted. As I said earlier, that could have been, you know, hacked. We don't know. I don't know. I was just sharing because when I woke up, it was like everywhere on X and it was like, what is happening? And so I just shared it to be like, guys, look at this ridiculousness. Honestly, a hacked account would make sense. And I think it's done to discredit Mitch and discredit Candace is more or less probably what it is. Dr. Tetanus, she's not going to read my chat. I do read. I try to read as many chats as I can. Well, let's see. Rob, that's a lot of Nate drunk rambling for someone to go through to find that super chat. Yeah, I don't know how long that live was. I know some of his lives have been like really long. I've never done a live that long. Alexandra, you are my cup of tea, Nicole. Thank you. But it's okay if I'm not. If I'm not your cup of tea, just find someone that is. I don't take that personally. Not everybody gets along with everybody. Not everybody is everyone's vibe. It's okay. That's why there's how many creators on YouTube? You don't like somebody, just keep going. Elena, Ian is great. He was really stuck in the middle. I don't like that people put him in that position to try to get to Candace. Yeah, I think he's having a really rough time lately in general with a lot of those things. And I don't blame him for not wanting to be in the middle. Let's see. Daniel, will we ever get to the truth on what actually happened? I mean, I hope so. I think if we continue to stay loud, continue to ask questions, and keep attention on the case. Hopefully we will. It's a Hail Mary, you guys. It's like exactly what me and Sam Parker talked about in that interview that I did with him. You do the right thing, hoping that it makes a difference. You know, and that's all you can do. And if we don't ever get answers, at least, I know at least I can say, hey, I tried. I was a part of this movement. I tried to get answers. I shared information, and they're, you know what I mean? Our hands are tied. Like, can we for sure say, hey, if we figure out who did it, that justice is really going to be given to that person? We can't because of what's going on. But at the same time, all you can do is do your best, and that's it. Like I said, be kind, be respectful, keep talking about it, spread the information, and continue to help investigate. And then if you could at least say with a good conscience that you tried. You did your part. And there's nothing else we can do after that. As I've said in previous lives, sometimes we don't get justice in this lifetime, but the wrath of God is the biggest. To me, that's the biggest punishment. So it's nothing that we can give here. So it's for us to pray about. What's going to be is going to be. What God's plan is God's plan. We're not going to change that. That's where faith comes in. And you have to be okay with the fact that it just may end up that way. There's only so much we can do if we collectively keep talking, and if we collectively keep pushing and giving pushback. There's more of us than them, then we probably have a greater chance of getting that justice and those answers. But it's not going to be because of 10 podcasters or 100 podcasters. It's going to take a large amount of people to say, hey, we're not standing for this. And by that, it comes with inconveniencing everyone's daily life too. And nowadays, a lot of people don't want to be inconvenienced. I mean, that's just the truth. Pandar sent you a super chat. Not sure if you saw it. I am going to read those at the end. I appreciate that. And I will go over those at the end, I promise. I usually try to save those for the end. I used to read them in between, but I like to do them at the end. Now it's just more organized. Valhalla. Well, I don't want to read that, but who will beat you up if you don't believe all women, even if you're a woman, unless he doesn't like the woman, then it's okay. There's so much to say about so much. It's just not even a path I'm going to even go down. It's just, at this point, I try to stay in my lane, you guys. I try to just keep to myself, focus on what I'm doing, do the right thing when no one's looking. I can't control what other people do. They're adults. Gregory, another YouTuber or YouTube creator, original Dangster, isn't an accountant, but found some very disturbing tax info regarding the TPUSA life insurance policy on Charlie and possible motive why he was eliminated. Yeah, I saw Dank's video. Kristen sent that to me. We both watched it. And I think he was working with Jesse on Fire. So that's what I got from Jesse, or Jesse on Fire did a video about it. Seemed like they were working together on that one. Agree, I hate the swearing. Yes, I can only handle so much of that. When you're yelling and screaming and swearing, I'm good. I can't listen to that. I stopped listening to Valhalla as well. The ranting and putting down his viewers who disagree with him. We're all going to have a point where we come to a disagreement. You're not going to agree with everything I say, and that's okay. If I wasn't friends with, Kristen and I is a good example. Kristen and I don't agree on everything. She could write in the chat. There's plenty of things that we see differently on, or and we're not friends over it. We talk about it when we start to get a little bit, stressed out about it, or, you get to a point where you're like, okay, we just need to drop this conversation. And I think that's okay. I think it's okay to not agree with everybody, and you can still talk. And then there's a point where you have to know, hey, I know this person feels differently, and drop it. And that's okay. Brandy, just don't subscribe and don't watch if you don't like Not Rocket Science. Yeah. Rob, quit swearing and Nightbot won't cause issues. Yeah, and I also made it to where we can't swear. in the chat, because you guys, whatever you guys put in people's comments on their videos and your chats, if it's inappropriate or certain things, you can get that creator shadow banned and cause a lot of problems. So I know it's not fun. People don't like the censoring, but this is the world we live in right now. And so we just have to try to adapt to be able to still continue to talk about stuff. So, for the safety of, losing platforms, we kind of have to filter through things. I know that's unfortunate. I don't like it either. I don't agree with it either, but I'm sorry I didn't make it clear he was a fantastic cop and now he's great in journalism. Terry, who were you talking about again? Let's see. Brad, how many times has Valhalla called his own audience or watchers that don't agree with him a woman beater? That you're talking about that one live when, people didn't agree with how he saw the Mitch stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand the name calling. There's a way to go about stuff, and I think how you handle stuff says a lot too. No one wants to be told what to think. I even tell you guys when you come in here, don't believe everything that I say. Take what I say, go do your own research, form your own opinion. Nobody should be depending on anybody. Everyone should be using their own critical thinking and common sense. I've been Water, sorry I'm late. My BFF in high school was Italian. You're terrific. Thank you so much. Daniel, can't trust Stu. I don't know. He dropped the video of Mitch. I don't use him as like a source, but Candace had said she was waiting to post the Mitch call, so I assume she gave it to whomever to post. That's what I think, Rogue. I think that she gave that to someone to post. Let's see. I discovered the great Stu Peters during the pandemic. He's done a lot of brave work. Yeah, Alexandra, I'm new to him, so I don't know. How do I follow your X account? If you look up Patriotic Housewife, you should be able to find it. If not, my link in bio for the channel, if you click on it, all my links are there for you guys. Did you get a haircut? Yes, I did. I got a haircut and full highlight. I hadn't had my hair cut or highlighted in 9 months, you guys. So yeah, we cut like 2 inches off. Brandy, damn it, Gary. Sorry to offend the bot. Had a moment, needed to take advantage. That's funny. Who went live Roger Rabbit. Also, since YouTube takes 30% of a donation, can you set up something that takes less? This way, any small donation is more effective and helpful. So in my link in bio, so like in my bio, I have my Cash App, my Venmo, my PayPal, all that's linked in there. So if you guys feel better to do it that way, then through super chatting, that's totally fine. I totally understand. I'm grateful for whatever you guys, however you guys support the channel. I also know that the world is expensive. And so even just liking and sharing the video and subscribing to the channel is helpful. But I appreciate everybody that, gives towards the channel. Like I said, as we continue to grow, that stuff helps. There's a lot of things that cost money, and it adds up to be able to bring you guys the best type of content and bring the best thumbnails and, have the ability to do all this research. It does take some money. Even the equipment just to get started upfront is extremely expensive if you start with decent stuff. Like I started with a Shure mic and a Rode Boom. Those are, because my thing was I wanted to bring you guys quality content. I wanted to have a decent camera. It's not the best, but it's not the worst. And it was about making sure that it was quality for you guys, or the best quality I could start out with anyway. Renee Salib, it's exhausting. Yeah, it is. It can be. He does look kind of like the Zodiac. Yeah, a lot of people said that when they saw the sketch. They were like, oh, he kind of resembles that. So yeah, I agree with you. It is weird. I don't think he looks like it, but people are saying it looks similar. I don't know. I also got a lot of people that were mad about that post. And I was like, guys, someone said, I'm so disappointed you would share that. And I'm like, well, I always told you guys I'll share everything, that's gone crazy on X. And so it just happened to be there. And I was like, look at how crazy this is. Even just to be like, how bizarre is this at, you know what I mean? That this is even there. It was just bizarre, very bizarre. I was like, what? We've already joked about it being kind of like soap opera-ish, this entire thing. And then you get that. And it's like, of course, you could just throw this in the mix. Like at this point, nothing should be surprising to us, right? I really love your content. Oh, this is Ellie. I really love your content and you really do a service. I really do wish we'd never hear about the naysayers, just delete or whatever, ignore the best medicine. Oh, I sure do. I sure do. My point to that was just that, people that, talk about creators in general, it's just if they're not your cup of tea, just keep moving, guys. Don't leave a nasty comment on someone's stuff. It doesn't benefit you at all. Just leave them alone. Pamela, I like your channel. Straight facts, no drama. Drama's too much on some channels. Thank you so much, Pamela. I just stay in my lane, as I said. I just mind my business. Karma is real. Renee, it is. What goes around comes around. What you put out comes back tenfold. And so everyone should just worry about, as my dad said, worry about your own behind. That's it. As long as you're doing the right thing, all that other stuff is just whatever. Hey, first time viewer and happy to be here. Proud disabled vet. And thank you for speaking the truth. Thank you so much, Sergeant Will. My husband is a veteran as well. Thank you for your service. I appreciate you. You guys are so brave. You do something that I could never do. And I appreciate you guys. I really, really do. So thank you so much for that. I've got to run. God bless you all. And God bless you, Nicole. See you in the next one. Thank you, Duchess of Camelot. Thank you for popping in and being involved in the live. I certainly appreciate it. Let thy will be done. Heavenly Father, we trust you and love you. Exactly, Alexandra. That's exactly true. Pamela, I have to go. Keep up the good work. God bless everyone. God bless you, Pam. See you in the next one. Thank you for popping in and supporting. Shush, quiet. Thanks for the update. I really enjoy your content. It is informative and concise. God bless you all. Same to you. God bless you. And thank you for being here. I think Valhalla lets the trolls get to him. Yeah, Kelly, I think everyone does at some point. We're human. And so, yeah, you do your best to ignore majority of it. But every once in a while, especially me, like if I can give a witty comeback, sometimes I do. And, people, want you to ignore every single comment. Well, after 500 of them, sometimes you want to give a little bit back. And I always do it in a respectful way. But to stay on it, for so long or harp on it for too long is not good. But every once in a while, a good witty comment back is fun. Danielle, agree. Yep. There's a kind of way to disagree about topics, but stay friends. Yeah. If we weren't friends with people that we disagreed with, we would have no friends. I can think of every single friend I have and something we don't see eye to eye on. You just have to let that stuff go. If everyone agreed, the world would be boring. And this is what makes the world go round. Exactly, Renee. So true. Let's see. Doctors probably signed a gag order. Can't break that, Cam. This gag order, that's what we say, but yet the gag order is very convenient for people. When they want to talk, TPUSA is talking constantly. Frank Turk's out there talking constantly. So does the gag order really matter? In my opinion, they use it as an excuse when they don't want to talk about things or address certain things. And then next thing you know, when they want to talk, they're talking. So I don't really think the gag order is relevant, to be honest with you. At this point, everyone else is breaking it. Rob McCoy's out there giving sermon after sermon talking about what's going on, getting caught up in lies. Frank Turk's changing his story. I don't know. I believe the one from BB. Yeah, I'm not shocked, Greg, either. They never signed a gag order. Never. Doctors' freedom of speech. Well, there's HEPA violations. YouTube should make some money too. They do. They do. And I never tell people which way to support the channel. It's there if you guys want it. If not, it's totally fine. Not sure how Utah works, but if a high profile person came where I was, you can't confirm they were there, much less discuss. I agree. I mean, that's a HEPA violation. Nobody should be talking about that. So I agree with you. I was surprised that there wasn't a lot of people that were sitting in the ER or something when they wheeled him in, or that were walking in the parking lot and saw him being pulled out of the SUV. To me, from what I've heard, the feds, I guess, like seized all that stuff, supposedly. My friend lives in Utah and she said it's very odd, strange, and dark. I believe it, Terry. He had the right to come out and say where the bullet went in and out. Terry, not with the HEPA form, but typically do you guys remember when we have school whats and all these different things and they have the kids at the hospital, a doctor will come out and talk about we have this many people in critical condition, we have this, we have this, we have this. So you do see doctors somewhat talk about stuff, but we never had like any other case. If you compare this stuff to any other case, like none of it is even similar. It's odd. Came back to say hi, hit the like button. Thank you, Pamela. Thank you so much for you. Karma is very real. Sure is. Let's see what else we got. When will someone go to Utah and ask real questions to the governor and DA's office? I think people have. I think people are trying. Elizabeth Lane, she's gone to all the court hearings and she's done some really good work about like things that have gone on in the courtroom that are really weird. I've said, I'm like, for this court case, I'm like, I will literally set up like a fund and I'll fly there and sit like they did in the Karen Reed trial. I will gladly sit there and see what's going on in there. It's just going to be costly. You got flight, you got hotel. It's a lot to travel, but I'll gladly shoot. I'm sure Kristen will go with me and we'll go figure out on the ground what's going on. Candace isn't hiding anything. She likes to draw it out. Exactly, Terry. Alexandria, I like your witty comebacks, Nicole. A lot of people have said that. They like when I get witty. Let's see. Laugh out loud. You can give anonymous info. You can be a whistleblower if you are brave. Doctor, patient's confidence is not a thing in the event of a crime. Dr. Tennis, I agree. People can whistleblow, but it's you got to think if the doctor, if we think that the doctor was, from the Google trends and stuff, if it's something to do with that, they're not going to. So you have to think about that. If that was genuinely conveniently a certain doctor, I don't know. Like I said, it's all alleged. I don't know. I have been ill for weeks, mostly upper respiratory problems and sinus issues, difficult to recover from. Yes, the sinus infections and the flus right now are just crazy. Let's see. Terry, all would go along with it. Remember, Patel said, see you in Valhalla, go island in New Zealand. I'm going through a similar situation right now without a gag. I'm low-key Candace situation. Trust me, they come after you. Oh, I'm sure they do. I appreciate you are very balanced and respectful, Nicole. Thank you. I try to be. We all should be trying to be that way. Charlie was 6'5", so cringe when I think about how they must have stuffed him into the middle row seat. Yeah, they said that they couldn't even shut the door. They had to hold the door shut. Yeah, it's sad to think about. Really sad to think about. I would think Charlie's wife would want that out there, especially since we're not believing the story. Anyway, someone from the hospital said they saw someone run from a black SUV into another. I think I heard that. I think it was like a parking attendant, wasn't it? I think we talked about this a while ago. It was like a guy did a video on it, and I think he said Mikey. He saw Mikey go where the doctors park. He parked over there, and then him and someone else left. I don't know. I saw that video. I think it was a parking attendant. I think it was Jesse on Fire that did the video. I guess they can gag the students, but can they really? I mean, I think they've done a good job of making people feel afraid to talk, if that's what you mean. Even if that's not, legal or whatever, I think that they've done a good job of making people fearful. All information is relative, full stop. I agree. That's why if I can help with this, oh yeah, I'm in. Exactly. Let's see. If I was a college student there, I don't think that would stop me from talking to my friends. I don't think it stops people talking amongst friends. I think that's very different from like coming out on the internet, showing your face and really putting yourself out there. I think people are scared. Let's see. What is that? Nora Cutie. Oh, Shapiro getting a warning stalking complaint. I'll have to look that up more. I think I heard something about that actually. But he's insufferable too. 4597 Patty, I did not see or hear of medical people providing PHI. It's all hearsay for the narrative. Exactly. Why didn't they let the EMTs help? That's a good question, Penny. I think we've all asked that question. I don't know that we're ever going to get the answer to that. Let's see. Why do you feel qualified to be recapping Candace, or why is it necessary for you or anyone to recap Candace? I 100% support Candace. Wondering what your agenda is. So the reason that I started the Candace Owens recap was really because after I would watch Candace and after I watch all the Charlie Kirk stuff, week after week after week, my husband was like, I don't want to hear about this stuff. Like, this is crazy. Like, you need to watch something else. And so for a lot of us, our spouses don't necessarily care to be on the trail the way we are or keep up with certain things. And I know I was I was crazy into the Karen Reed trial. And so it was really just to give us a space to be able to kind of, it's like one of those things that after you watch it, you got to talk about it. And maybe your spouse or, maybe, your friends don't want to talk about it or they don't really care as much as you do. And so it was kind of like a space for all of us to come here and talk about it and talk about our opinions of it and throw information out there and just chat, and chat really about anything. That's why I put Q&A. Like, we talk about autoimmune stuff. We talk about all kinds of stuff. I just think it's a nice little chat, for people that, like I said, does my husband want to talk about Candace Owens the whole time? No. Sometimes you leave Candace Owens show and you're like gonna like literally explode not talking about it. So it's just kind of a fun thing to do. So to answer your question, I don't think anyone has to be qualified to recap a show and talk about what went on or talk about their opinion of something that went on. This is YouTube. It's an open forum meant for that reason. And there's a lot of people that recap shows. So I don't think there's any qualifications needed. There wasn't an ambulance because they couldn't put him in one because he wasn't dead. Now, yeah, Terry, there's a lot of people who think that. I personally don't. But everyone's entitled to their opinion. Nick Fuentes recently had some choice words about Cabot Phillips. There's more to that guy, surely. Yeah, Cabot Phillips, he's a character for sure. An employee at the hospital said they saw a man jump out of an SUV and run into another SUV. Yes, Terry. I think it was the parking attendant talked about someone going from the car to the building and the building back to the car with someone else. They couldn't identify who it was. They couldn't let the EMTs help because, I already read that comment. I agree. I don't think medical peeps did the right thing. Well, they were shooed off by the security, so there's only so much you can do. Daniel, nearly 300 of us appreciating this recap. Thank you. Let's see. And then I think the military wished him, whisked him over to the plane as fast as they could because the transponder was shut off for 30 minutes. Yeah, all of it's possible, right? We don't know. Let's see. Jay Braun. I truly believe Candace was Charlie's kill switch. He sent her in case I'm off. Do you need to know this? Yeah, I think that a lot of people didn't really realize how much they still kept in contact and talked and how much he told her. I think, like I said, I think this whole thing was totally underestimated. They didn't think this many people were going to care. They didn't think this many people were going to research. This many people were going to be internet sleuths. And that's what they banked on. They figured if they pulled all the footage, and it was just going to be something where everyone was just going to take the narrative and just keep going. They didn't realize how many people weren't going to accept that. Can I be your new husband? No, you cannot. Mine is too good to replace. Sorry. I'm sure you'll meet a nice girl somewhere. Let's see. Patty, seriously, what doctor would say Charlie's Superman neck saved all the people around him? None. I don't know a doctor that would talk like that. Doctors speak in fact. They're very careful about what they say. They can get in big trouble. They can lose their medical license. I don't know any doctor that is going to speak like that personally. And I worked in spine and neurosurgery for a long time. So not to say that it's impossible. I guess there are people who do things they're not supposed to, but I don't know any doctor that would. I'm simply asking. I'm brand new to your channel. I was not being rude. Thank you kindly for answering. Of course. Of course. That's why we have Q&A and recaps. Personally, I have many questions about the whole process medically, but can they speak out loud on record or possibly be recorded? No. I mean, there's HEPA laws. So they're there for a reason. I really appreciate your recaps of Candace. Coach Colin does this too. I find it helpful. Thank you for all you're doing. Thank you, James. I also think there's a lot of people who don't want to sit through an hour and they really just want, as I say, you trim the fat, you keep the meat. Sometimes there's a lot of, information that people don't care to hear. So sometimes those recaps are nice because it's like the big bullet points and that's it. And sometimes even me, I follow different creators just to hear what they thought of something, because we all perceive and hear things differently. Like I could say something and my husband will take it one way, Kristen would take it another, and you guys would take it another way. Everyone's how they receive things is different. And there's been times where I've listened to other creators and I'm like, oh, why didn't I think of it like that? So it's nice to, get someone else's perspective and maybe, it'll change how you feel about something or you'll realize something that you didn't see before. I know sometimes when I'm watching stuff when I'm really worked up or I'm like mad with the situation, like when I was mad with the Karen Reed trial, you know, sometimes you're not really like listening. And so you miss things. Or if you're like me, I put an AirPod in sometimes and I throw a podcast on and I start like cleaning and doing things. So I'm like listening, but I'm not listening. You know what I'm saying? I catch things, but I don't catch everything. And so I have to go back and rewatch, or sometimes I watch another creator and I just like their take on stuff and watch it for that reason. So recapping people's content is not bad. I don't think it is. I enjoy it. Let's see. You can recap Candace for us because we need everyone working on this. They unalive Charlie. I agree. I think it's good for everyone to do what they feel they want to do. Whatever makes you happy, right? I doubt, let's see, Dr. Tetanus, I doubt there is one, and I doubt it would work with this, but there are provisions in Utah law for autopsy release. I doubt there's actually an autopsy, and I'm sure it won't be released after trial. They said they did an autopsy. Utah law, they are mandatory, so they probably did, but I agree with you. If it gets released, it's going to be in trial. I'm pretty sure in trial, they have to release that. Whether that'll be redacted for the public, I don't know. We just have to see. Let's see. Wonder if pizza was also in Romania with Erica's. Yeah, you never know. Let's see. Patty, a coffin is for the dead and ambulance is when you are trying to save a life. Either way, I think he should have been loaded into an ambulance. I don't think we saw aid rendered, and not proper aid anyway. Anybody who's taken like a BLS course or any kind of first aid could have told you that. Pat Williams. Hello, Pat. Welcome back. I hope you're having a good night. Happy Monday. Gregory, the one person I would like to see interviewed was the young man who worked for or was a volunteer for TP that was being interviewed inside the school and was abruptly physically interrupted. Yeah, I think a lot of people have talked about that. There is something weird about that too. Dr. Tennis, that was a bold question. I'm used to bold questions. It's a trend on here. Alexandria, hi, Pat Williams. Oh, you guys are saying hi to each other. See? In my opinion, that conversation wasn't from an MD. I don't think it was either. Victoria, they really underestimated the public. They thought the half-baked narrative would work and everyone would buy it. I agree. I think that's exactly what we've seen. Dr. Tetanus, a new nurse, no one in the hospital saw before that day. She hasn't been seen since. I've heard something about that actually, but I don't know. I don't know. I think that, like I said, I think a lot of stuff is being bogged down. Terry, well, my friend's a nurse and she could not believe that the doctor never came out for her. That was a big clue that he was. I mean, anything's possible, Terry. We don't know. I don't personally believe that he would traumatize half the world and lie. He was very big on honesty, and he was very big on his faith and his walk with Christ and living in his will. And I just personally don't think that that's true. But we're all allowed to believe what we want to believe, and nothing is surprising. And there's possibility for everything here. Cam, oh my God, Karen Reed, I put it on mute and made up silly songs when Hank spoke. Couldn't do it. so many people that were unbearable in that case. I'm going to do actually a recap in the members only area when I do where it's like more long form content, and I'm going to go over trials and stuff. And I want to go back to the first trial and actually go from the first trial all the way through the second for people who didn't follow or even people who did. The civil case is wild. We're going to start really covering the civil case. Proctor was a nightmare. You guys don't even want to get me started on Karen Reed. Let me tell you, I could go on and on and on about that case. Sean Hedman, I agree about different perspectives or missing things that are said in a podcast. Thank you for having us here. It's a comfortable space. Thank you so much, Sean. That's what I've tried to kind of keep going here and create was a nice environment where we can just chat and all get along. Hopefully, like I said, we don't have to agree, but we can be respectful about disagreeing. We don't have to name call. We don't have to go crazy. Gregory Worth, pure speculation on my part, but I believe that Charlie was finished off either on the ground behind the table or in the SUV. I think he was long gone before the SUV. That's my opinion. But again, we weren't there. I don't know. Dog Whisperer, love your hair. Thank you so much. Italian genetics. My dad had good hair. So, yes, there's no blood on the ground. There was blood on the ground, and we do see blood on clothes and other people. It's not the amount that we all, I think, would have assumed, but there was blood. It's just not what we assumed would be where. But like I said, I don't know. There's so many reasons for so many things. You just don't know. There's no way to know. We weren't there. We're going off of limited pictures, limited footage, limited testimony here. So you can only do so much. Oh, I didn't watch the Karen Reed first trial, second case, all into it. Yeah, Cam. So I want to do like an overview of the whole first case. It's going to be a lot of work because, geez, the Reed case was just crazy. But I loved it. You love Alan Jackson, so do I. David Unetti was awesome. Bob Alessi is hilarious. Her whole team truly was great. Miss Little, loved her. The dream team in the second trial. Thank goodness for all of them. They all played their part. And it was so kind of them to do a lot of the work, and not charge her for all the work because she couldn't afford all that. But it was one of those things where people saw that she was getting railroaded by the system and they wanted to stand behind what was right. And so they did that. And there was can you imagine the hours that the legal team put into that case, knowing that they were doing this just to be on the side of right. And that's a good example of what we all need to be doing, is just standing behind what's right. And, being willing to be inconvenienced, to maybe go out of our way, and I think that, thank goodness for all of them. I think they all worked great together, a lot of sleepless nights. They almost were like a little family by the end of it, really. And it was really beautiful to watch. Alan Jackson, he's a beast. There's a reason he's expensive. Let's see. Patty, retired medic here. Ambulances are used many times to transport the deceased. That is true. DOA is a real thing. Dead on arrival. They never said, I need to get the medical records from the hospital, but for those who are new here, when my dad passed away, he passed away on the porch. And when the medics came and they were working on him, and they put him in the ambulance, they worked on him some more. Well, from what we understand, my dad never came back. So, but I don't think they marked him DOA. Well, obviously he was intubated in the ambulance. They brought him in. They said they did everything they could at the hospital, but yes, they do. They still use an ambulance to transport you. They have to, time of death, all that stuff. So, but that was, a learning curve for me. That was personal. Half the world already watches worse on screens. I think it's completely possible because what about those smirks on the people assisting CK? I think the smirks looked more sinister than that, Jamie. But you're right. I mean, we don't know. We just don't know. Grammy, thank you to all you vets, your heroes. I'm a widow of a career Air Force vet, and I miss him every day. I sincerely believe he's in heaven and with our Lord. I'm grateful for the gift he was. Thank you for your husband for serving, Grammy. I truly don't know what we would do. We are free because of them. We get to sit here and talk on YouTube, which is amazing. And I truly don't know how they do it. I don't know how my husband did it. 8 years. I know I couldn't. Let's see. Thank God for an intelligent jury trial 2.0. Yes, the jury in the second trial, I was very grateful for them. But she's been, imagine, like all the stress. And she has, Karen Reed, she has, is it MS? I think she has MS. I have no idea how she dealt with the stress. And she was very much involved in her legal team. For those of you guys that aren't familiar with the Karen Reed case, she was in there with her attorney. She knew her case inside and out. She could tell you what page of documents, what was on. She was so involved. And this is where I tell people, like, you need to learn to advocate for yourself. You can't depend on just an attorney. You can't depend on just a doctor. You really have to be aware of your rights in X, Y, and Z ahead of time before something happens. It'll save you because you don't have time to learn when that stuff is happening. And so Karen Reed being so involved in her case, I just think she also helped herself a ton. And she, at this point, I think could be a lawyer herself with all the stuff she's learned and went through. Let's see. So nice being here with all of you tonight. God bless you all. And through all the noise around us, keep your eyes open. Jesus, our true shelter. Yep. I always tell people, don't put your faith in humans, put your faith in God and just keep moving. Keep your eyes on God. It's the only way. So, all right, guys, we are at an hour and 55 minutes. We are going to go through the super chats, and I'm going to let everyone spend time with their family, rest, maybe watch a good movie, read a book, stretch, do something that feels good. And then I'll see you guys all on Wednesday. Again, our live will be following Candace's. If for some reason on one of these days on her show she releases some crazy information, maybe we will go live again, one extra time this week. We'll see how this all plays out. If not, we will just do Monday, Wednesday like we usually do. Here and there I throw in an extra live, but maybe depending on what's dropped this week, maybe we'll end up doing another. I'll just read this one. Patty, I worked in neurosurgical ICU. And I can't even pronounce that. Fraud hurt. I'm so bad with pronouncing certain things. Let's see. Anne Crohn's, she's a beast. Yeah, she does have Crohn's too, I believe. Yeah. I have lupus and I'm going through a flare up now. I couldn't take that kind of stress. Penny, believe me, I get it. I have lupus, and when my flares are going, it's hard. It really is. It is so hard. And you kind of I tell people, like, you're never probably going to have a normal day. I know there's not a day that since I've been diagnosed with my fibro and my lupus, that I have felt normal or go without pain. I just find things to distract me. And I have a lot of people that say, how do you keep going? I could never get on a podcast every day. It's just, you force yourself, you your life is different now. I think I'm still in like denial. I think I always assume I can keep doing what I used to, and I can't. So I'm trying to still learn boundaries and just give yourself grace. The to-do list, you can always move it over. I'm still trying to learn that. It's easier to say than do. But just, the biggest thing with the flare-ups is just accepting. Penny, if you go to my link in bio, I have a link tree. If you go in the link tree, I have an area where it talks about autoimmune, like recommendations of things I do at home that I bought off Amazon that help. The acupressure mat is amazing. It's hard to get used to at first, but it will relax all your muscles. Anybody who has back pain or tight muscles all the time, that thing is a game changer. You could ask my husband how many I've blown through, because over time, if you use them that much, like anything, it gets, you got to get a new one. That has been huge. The ResTech massager, you guys, if you don't have one of these, game changer. And they're only like $30, but it literally feels like you have someone like kneading the knots out. It's so good. That's a good thing. Like I said, I take arnica every day. That helps with the muscle soreness. magnesium cream does wonders. If you guys have, even if you just have like body pain, usually back pain, if you put magnesium cream on, it sinks into the muscles and it just relaxes everything. Those are like, those are some good things that are just natural that, just help. A trigger point ball, roll your feet out. A lot of people don't realize that your feet, that they have a lot to do with neck pain and stuff. So if you get a trigger point ball and you roll out your feet, and when you go to put a little bit of pressure on your foot, you'll feel where, you'll know when you hit a spot that you need to like kind of put a little pressure on and hold. And oh man, you'll feel it. You'll know. It's the best thing ever. And that foam roller I have in there, it's an expensive foam roller. It's the one we use in Pilates class. It was the best $70 investment of a foam roller I ever bought. And it's nice. It's the length of your, sorry guys, for people that don't maybe want to hear this part, but if you have back issues and things, like it's even great because it's the whole size of your back if you lay on it long ways. And if you just put it on the center, you just lay with your arms out, you'll feel everything decompress and those ridges kind of get in your traps and stuff. And my husband gets on this stuff too. He'll come right in here and pull out the roller, and a lot of it is just taking time, even people who don't have autoimmune, stretching should be done for everybody, not even just autoimmune per se. Favorite moment in second care and retrial was when Alessi is exposed Shannon Burgess for falsifying his resume. Oh my gosh. Can you believe, like, don't even get me started on what was his name? Shoot. Now I'm going to lose his name. Lupus brain. His testimony, I was like, this guy is unbearable. But yeah, they exposed a lot of people who like weren't even qualified. It was funny because Alessi, Unetti, and all them, they had experts that were more of experts than what the state had. Oh gosh, it was so bad. The prosecution was so pissed. Let's see. Come back tomorrow for a recap. We can try. We'll see what Kristen says. I always say Kristen is like my PR manager in the background. Right, Kristen? I always am like, Kristen. But we'll try. We'll see. I'll post in the community post if we're going to do it. But if we do, we won't do it as long as we did tonight. We're at 2 hours. Maybe we'll just do like an hour. We'll try to shorten it if we're going to do more of them. Alexandria, thank you for a great chat, Nicole and the Patriots. Thank you so much, Alexandria, for being here. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. Cam, I may have screamed and clapped with Alessi moments. You could ask my husband. I was a nutcase. I'm not joking. Emily D. Baker is awesome. I sat in front of this TV every day and clocked in as like a 13th juror. My husband would come home from work and I would still be in here, or I'd be cooking dinner and have that blaring in the background. I lived for that case. Let's see. Minnie, the Karen Reed, the trial had my blood pressure raised until the verdict. I knew in my gut she was innocent, not just guilty, but completely innocent. Talk about corruption right in front of us. Absolutely. I got to do another breakdown of, oh my gosh, I can't even think of her name right now, but some of the same officers that are involved in the murder of that young girl. I'm going to have to do a video on that, honestly, because there's more corruption in Canton. Oh Lord, Canton is bad. Absolutely terrible. But yeah, I had my blood pressure, out of control too. And did you guys know, I'm just going to point this out. A lot of people don't realize this, but when you're found not guilty, do you know that you're never deemed innocent? So you're found not guilty, but they never say you're innocent. There's a difference. If you look it up with the law, how the law recognizes it, it's really gross. Cam, so I talked about the foam roller. I talked about the trigger point ball. So it's like a small ball. It's going to be like the size of a tennis ball. That's another one that has ridges, so you can roll your feet out. The ResTech massager, which is like you plug it into the wall, and even comes with a car charger. So if you go on long road trips and you're sitting in the passenger seat, I just plug that in, and you could use it anywhere. And it's got like the things that wrap around you: magnesium lotion, arnica. Those are an acupressure mat. Those would be like my top. And it's nice. They're all natural, it's something that helps. Even if you've done a lot of house projects and you're sore, or you're someone who has a lot of back pain, walking does help a lot. Yep. Moving your body is key. Even when I'm in the most pain, I will tell you guys that moving your body when you feel horrible is so important. Even if I go to Pilates class, I can tell you that even if I go there and I'm like in tears and pain, yes, Welcher, I leave there feeling better after stretching. So sometimes you just have to kind of force yourself. And not every day you're going to be able to do that. There's some days where you just literally your body feels like you need to be in bed, and that's okay. Be in bed. Don't feel guilty. You can't control what's happened. Listen to your body, but don't let the disease control you, if that makes sense. Try to control it as much as you can. Don't let it, put you into a deep, a dark space. And that's another reason why I like this channel too, is hopefully someone who's newly diagnosed and they feel alone. Autoimmune is very isolating. You look normal on the outside. Everyone's like, oh, you look so healthy. You look great. But on the inside, you feel like you're dying. And it's like the world is moving and you're dying and no one notices it because they can't understand how you feel. And so hopefully this channel is also a place where people can come and feel and know that you're not crazy. It's not in your head. It's just part of the disease. It'll be okay. I still have days where I cry. You can ask anybody that knows me. I still cry. I still get frustrated. And, like there's days where I want to post on here and maybe I can't get up and I can't record that day. So it just is what it is. You just have to roll with it and just understand it is what it is. I do believe Karen Reed and CK is God exposing the crud that has to go. I agree. Shannon was one and right. I don't know what you mean by that one. Reach your arms high in the sky at least once each day. Yeah, like you're climbing the rope like we did in gym class. Bring them out, bend over, touch your toes. A lot of people don't realize that like your hamstrings are usually tight and that causes a lot of low back pain and hip pain. And women carry their emotions in their hips. Pigeon pose is painful to release that piriformis, but I try to do that every day at least because it helps. It sucks to do. It's not fun during. You mean Welcher? Yeah, Welcher was, gosh, it was so horrible. Judson Welcher was a mess. Absolute mess. Absolute mess. I'm taking notes. Penny, don't feel like you have to rush. I did a video about my diagnosis. It's in my videos. If you go to, what do you call it? I have the playlist. You go to the My Diagnosis story, and then also my link in bio has a link tree. And when you click on that and you go to shop or whatever, you'll see all the stuff in my Amazon that I use specifically for my autoimmune. So don't worry. It's all there. If you have questions, just email Patriotic Housewife and just say it's Penny. Hey, I have a question about this or that. And I'll be honest with you about, what's worked for me. Everything in there is what's worked for me. There's stuff I've tried that didn't, but those are the things that I found to be extremely helpful. So always looking to help someone else, even if I could help with someone just like a smidge, make them feel 20% better. It's a win. Yep, he's been working on his degree since my son went through high school and graduated college. Jeez. Let's see. Nuts, don't be nuts. Peanuts, pistachios, macadamia walnuts. Let's see. All right, guys. So we'll go through. No problem, Penny, of course. Of course. And if anybody has MS, I'm sure Kristen wouldn't mind if you hit up Patriotic Housewife Tips at Gmail. That goes to her. And if you have questions about MS, I mean, Kristen could answer those questions and, an email. Just if you want to know if she does anything, natural, what works for her, she could probably, sorry, Kristen, I'm not trying to blow up your inbox, but if someone has a question, I'm sure she'd be happy just to answer it. Thank God she walked. Yeah, I agree. I don't know how she was so calm sitting in that chair every day listening to all that. I would have been out of my chair. We had to climb up a 40-inch rope by hand with 2-inch thick safety mat below us. Laugh out loud. We did too, Greg. We did too in gym class. Isn't that funny? You handled that qualified comment way better than I wanted to. Well done, Nicole. Thank you, Greg. Yeah, I try. I try to be pleasant. Like I said, I think it's good to be a good example and give people grace. I think a lot of people are on edge right now. There's a lot of stress out there. Believe me, I'm not perfect. My husband can tell you. When I want to be spicy or I want to be witty, I can be that. But at the same time, I do think, you know, if everyone just slowed down and tried to be a little bit more aware, most of the time, if you tell someone nicely, I've had a lot of people apologize and be like, I'm sorry, you're right. I'm taking something out on you and I shouldn't. I've had people say that. So it's about, I think everything is how you approach it. And then if they want to continue to be rude, the block button was invented for a reason. And I do use it. So I encourage that too. No one's worth your peace of mind. All right, guys, I'm going to read these super chats and then we're going to head out. I appreciate you all sitting in for 2 hours and 9 minutes with me. It's getting late. So let's see. We have Renee. Thank you for the $20 super chat or super sticker. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Alicia, thank you for the membership. You did 2 memberships. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Alicia's been in here several times. I appreciate your support. Pendar, no fan of the little country here. My uncle was captain of the USS Liberty. Oh, wow. That's crazy. The USS Liberty is such a sad story. Anybody who was on that ship, it just horrible. Candace Owens did a really great interview. And there's a couple people that actually on YouTube have done some work on the USS Liberty that's really good, actually. If you guys haven't heard of it, I highly suggest you look into it. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. Dr. Tetanus, thank you so much for the super sticker. That's weird. But what's weirder? Ian's tall. That's funny. Yeah, he doesn't look that tall, but I'm sure he really is. I mean, we only see people sitting down, so deceiving. Let's see. I can never pronounce some of these names. Norkdo. The smearing of Candace has clearly been proven by Candace's proof she is over a Zionist MIC TPUSA source for the killing. Yeah, 1000%. I agree with you. There's a reason that people are losing their minds right now. And I think there's obviously something there for people. I've said this 1,000 times. We haven't attacked the mic theory this way. There's so many theories, the electrocution theory. Nobody's combated like this with any other theory, but it seems like with the Fort and Mitch, it's really got people coming out of the woodwork, and it just makes you wonder why. If there's nothing to it and it's so silly, we wouldn't be this wound up and spending this much time to discredit it and lie about our alibis. We've seen several instances of dishonesty with alibis and stuff. So it's just that should open your eyes, if anything. The truth doesn't need to be reworked, so to speak. But thank you, Dr. Tennis. Thank you, Norkdo, for the super chats. I appreciate that. You guys are amazing. Dr. Tetanus, again, thank you so much. Engaging stream. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm glad you all are enjoying it as much as I am. Thank you for the super chat, Mac Kenzie. Candace made a career as an anti-Black small hat conspiracy theorist. She is a QAnon adjacent, so please don't call her conservative DI trad wife. Who called Candace a trad wife? I never said any of, first off, like I haven't even talked about any of that about Candace, but I mean, she works. A trad wife is more like a stay-at-home wife, right? I think she's, raising her kids and doing the best she can. But I appreciate the super chats, guys. You guys are amazing. Like I said, it really helps the channel be able to grow, us to bring you, the best work we can, do the research that we need to do. For instance, we pay for the newspaper yearly because there's a lot of things to go through in the newspaper. So that's just one way. There's several, even a good AI just to find, help you with the sourcing and certain things. That's great. But, all those things add up. And so it's just very helpful to make things a little bit easier when we're already spending so many hours sitting at a desk. And I kid you not, I sit at a desk all day. So even now I have to get up and move my body, stretch, and get some rest. And usually when I sit in bed, I'm going through stuff. So it's really not rest. So I appreciate all of you being here. Thank you so much again for being positive and respectful in here. Happy 2026. We're starting off 2026 on a high note here in this house. So, so I appreciate all of that. It was great to be here with you guys. God bless everybody. Like I said, please, go spend your time doing something positive, and relaxing, being kind to yourself. We all need to be doing that in 2026. Tell someone you love them. You truly just don't know when they're going to be gone. I will say that if I can give any advice, my dad died suddenly, and I'm so glad that we're a family that tells each other all the time, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. Because when that person's gone, I never doubted that my dad knew. And so it's just good to remember. And I know some of us aren't really emotional people, or we don't like to, be in our feelings, but life is short, and feelings are good. Emotions are good. So feel all the feels, laugh a lot. It's good for you. And I will see you guys all tomorrow, possibly. I will keep you guys posted. Like I said, I have the alerts on. And if you guys want, here and there, just check the community page. I always post if we're going to do a random live in there, and we'll go from there. I always listen to your guys' recommendations. So we will, I'm always watching. So feel free to keep me posted on there's anything that you guys want to request, things like that there. I check that stuff all the time. The colors are terrible. What colors? Of my room? If you're talking about my room, well, I guess it's a good thing it's not your bedroom then, right? Because you don't like them. That's okay. It's not your house. You don't have to like it. All good. That's why there's like a bajillion paint colors. My camera colors. I don't know what you're talking about, my camera colors. No clue what you're talking about. All right. What are we doing for 20K sub party? Clint, we should have a 20K sub party. That's a good idea. I don't know. Should we I don't know. Should we celebrate? Like do a celebration on here? I don't know. I know that Dee just did one. Didn't he hit like 250,000 subs, which is amazing. I like Dee. Got a podcast a lot. He's super smart, super nice guy. Him and I think, are very similar in a lot of ways. All right, guys, we're gonna hop off here. Nightbot's a jerk. Yeah, we'll have to play with the settings on it, and I'll have to get the feedback from Alex and Kristen on what they thought of it. I know that some of you guys were not a fan of it, so we'll see what we can do. If we can change the settings, or maybe it's not something we use, we'll see. Thank you for bearing with us as we tried this out. So, all right, guys, I will see you all later. Like I said, God bless you all. Thank you so much for the support. I hope you guys have a great night, and I will see y'all soon.